Hi, Thomas. Welcome again with this on this podcast series on this exciting topic today. So, thank you for accepting my invite to come and join this topic. How are you today?
Dharam, I'm very fine. I'm sitting here in Germany, my attic. It's raining and it's cold outside. It's getting winter,
Okay.
I'm very delighted to be again on your program, and we have done so many webinars yet. So I wonder where you get all the topics and the questions from. Thank you.
All right. So, thank you again. And today's topic is very interesting because lots of project managers, program managers, portfolio managers, they wonder about what skills will help me to deliver my work more effectively, more efficiently. Is it technical skills, or is it people skills, or something else? So technical skill, we'll all know that, you as a project manager, program manager, you need to have technical skill. Without that, you cannot survive in your profession, such as scheduling, risk management, scope management, how to constraint management, and there are limited cost, you have budget available, how you manage that effectively. All this is very important. You can join a training program, most likely even learn from PMBOK or many other resources, and you can grow yourself, mature yourself in that area, which is most of the project managers are doing. So don't underestimate those skills. Those are very, very important skills. But what about the people skill? What about, in people skill, we talk about interpersonal skills, or you can say team building skill, or leadership skills. So these are the skills which can make or break your program or project. If you handle your project, of course you do all this, schedule everything, but how you interact with the stakeholder, how you interact with your client, how you interact with the team members, can you think from their point of view? So that's where the leadership skills and your team building skills, motivational skills are going to be very, very useful. So with this, Thomas, what's your thoughts?
Well, yeah, my take on that is, that project management, and for that program management, for program management, these are people management areas. That's the dominant areas. And I just recently read a paper by Christophe Prédier. He is a professor in Canada now. He's a French guy, and he's in project management research for 20 plus years. And he had a paper, and when he proved, that the skills, the technical, what do you call it, technical skills? So the way of working, I called it now, the processes, the methods, the tools and techniques, that these are based on, let's say, rational thinking, data-driven decision-making, systems thinking. These are the things. And he proved that these are not sufficient to make success in a project,
Yeah.
These are necessary, so you've got to need about it, but there is another driving element in success of project management. And he said it's related to the culture of the organization. And though that's the paper, and my conclusion from that is, we always say there is a rational side, the mechanistic side of not only projects of life, and there's a human side, people are interacting and there are relationships, and something that you couldn't call it the irrational side, because you have feelings, emotions, and they are triggered by others, and other people, and you can ask them. So this human side, I think, is a dominant way to manage anything, and to manage projects and programs and portfolios for sure. And actually, it was exactly this dominance of the people skills, which I didn't recognize at the time when I decided to become a project manager. It was actually in 1987 when I ran a project. I was asked to run a larger project, a 2-digit million German mark project for a social insurance company in Germany. And there were many parts of that, as you could imagine. And I was asked to do that because I at least was the guy, a systems engineer, who could design and build data centers. And that was part of that project. But there were much more, though, training and changing applications and making all that sure. And, I said, okay, I'm a project manager. What do I have to do other than systems engineering? And I looked for books. There were not many books. And I had one book, I remember it very well, by Mr. Cooper, a German project manager. And his book focused on communications. So project management is about communications, communications, communications. And then he brought about all the communications you have to do in a project, also related to to planning, to controlling, all that, but communications as a key part. And I established as you do, you read something, you try to implement it. You're not sure if it works, if it's correct, but I did it. So I established a regular team meetings. I established a one-on-one with the sponsors. I established all hand meetings and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And in the end, this brought success to that project. And after that project, CEO of that company came to me and said, Walenta, you did that totally correct. I recommend you to focus on the communication side, because I was a little bit, when I saw who you are, systems engineering background, that you might be too technical, that you might be too focused on one step, on processes, one or the other. But no, you did it right. You listened and you communicated influence. So that is the start of my journey. After that project, I decided to cut off all my systems engineering skills.
Yeah.
And before that, I was 10 years a software developer. I did never program again, and I focused all my learning career, my experience on project management,
Yeah.
And
So,
I had the luck. Let me continue shortly. Sorry, that story. I had the luck to work for IBM. So IBM had a lot of classes in leadership. It starts with you go into a 3-day presentation class, how to build a presentation, how to present, and how to speak to people, or negotiation class or other classes. But that was not enough for me, because I really was bloodthirsty for leadership things, skills, and I went to public classes. We have public schools here in Germany for adults, and you can learn some adult topics. And so I want to have these classes, like improve your self-competence, improve your listening skills, this stuff. I did a lot of these classes, and it showed me some skills, but also, the practice in these classes was very important too. And then, so after 2000, I gave my own leadership classes. I started doing that, and that also gives you a lot of learning. You convey leadership skills, and you see how people react to it, and then you adapt, and you learn more, and they come up with something. So this is also a great learning. And then maybe from 2008, 2009, I started to be a mentor. And I think this is the core thing of people skills. If you can be a mentor, and I'm a mentor for 15 people in parallel, it's not only in our professional area, project management, but it's also that I mentor 5 refugees in Germany coming here, so that they integrate. The mentoring skill, you can mentor everything if you just listen, because that's the key thing. So that's my journey in leadership. And you can say you are a leader, and if you are a mentor, that is accepted by his Montes.
Yeah. So look, these people skills and especially leadership skills, all very, very important. And you have seen in your journey, and I've seen in my journey, as I started a project manager, and then some of the very high, complicated, complex program. It's technically, of course, they are very challenging, but at the same time, people, and especially nowadays, when you have teams sitting in virtually in different part of the world, and how you interact with them, how to make sure that they are motivated, they're excited, they're ready to commit and get the work done. So my experience actually come from my working with HP and as a setting up the data center not just data center, cloud data center for HP at the Asia Pacific level back in Sydney in 2009-10. In those days, cloud was new, and even HP technical team was not very, they don't know what exactly to do, but everybody was learning. So challenge was the dates. They said as you know, sales team did a very good job of selling the cloud services of HP to some of the big names in Australia. And guess what? There was no cloud setup at all. And the pressure on pressure on the project team as normal. Sales team do a good job sometimes, and then pressure fall on a project manager to make it happen. And in this situation, exactly that happened. I was told that the dates when we start transitioning them into the cloud somewhere in June, and we're talking November, and no data center ready at the moment. Not even the second data center, no idea. But anyway, other than all the technical jargons and all which I have to pick up in very short time, my team was sitting in Philippines, my team was sitting in India, my team was sitting in other, Melbourne, Sydney, another part of the world. Then how I'm going to interact with them, building my rapport with them, and the team members sitting in the United States, team members sitting in Canada, all this you have to look at from the, especially virtual organization. So, some of these, how you interact with your team member. No, don't think that team members are just a team. They are doing work for you. They have to do work for you, but at the same time, if they're motivated, they're excited, they will do better work, or they involve themselves into the outcome. And that's where the results are different.
Right. And I have a similar story to yours, working at IBM with teams all across the world. I worked for long years with my client Panasonic, and apparently they have a headquarters in Japan. I was in Japan very often. So what I found, these distributed teams and the people that are somewhere, and they are a little bit disconnected because of that, they need that you approach them, and they need that you recognize them as humans, and recognize them as humans in their environment, and maybe, if I talked to somebody recently in Pakistan, you have to ask him, have to be interested in how he is impacted by the floodings in Pakistan, because that we might hear it somewhere, but it doesn't touch us so much. But for them, it's a disaster, and a real big deal. So that's the first thing. You as a leader have to be interested in the situations of the people, because I also saw, when talking to people and they don't have a good internet connection, they're breaking down. So maybe you can help them. Maybe you can buy them a better connection. And so I remember my Indian team that we said we have to establish a video conferencing facility. Actually, we ended up buying them a video conferencing room. It's not so expensive, but it has to be established, and the connectivity and everything. And the other thing is, even with our Indian teams, Japanese teams, I talked about that. It's important that from time to time you meet face to face. And I also experienced that in my second career within PMI. And in PMI, I worked in a lot of virtual teams. So PMI teams are virtual by nature, because they have volunteers from all across the world, and they're working maybe at weekly or monthly calls. And then, maybe you meet twice a year. And that's important to me twice a year, to look these guys in the face you see on the video screen all the time. But you have to make sure that you also bound together, that you have a drink together, that you have food together, and that you do that. So this is also people skills, that you just behave like a good, let's say, father, grandfather, uncle, whatever, that you go to that. The people skills is also influencing, is leadership, as you said by yourself. And leadership, the core of leadership is influencing others. And the most important thing you can influence others to is to have trust in you. That's an influence because, if you say hello and I'm Dharam Singh, nobody trusts you at the first moment. They might be open and listening and watching you, but the first thing you have to do is to lead them by influencing them to have trust in you. And then the rest is not easy, but it's the next step. That's the base.
Yeah.
So you cannot really meet a new team member over Zoom and tell him here is the plan, and next week Friday you have to deliver, and then cut off. That's not trustworthy, and that's putting him off, and I guarantee you will have no deliverable next Friday. And maybe this guy walks away, because that's also easy in these times, that people can walk away easily from jobs. We have the great, how is it called in the US, the great resignation, and we have young people going to a job and saying, oh no, it's not for me, and go away again. And we have this other phenomenon, what we call now, even if you had to commute to a working place every morning, okay, you go there and somehow you are bound, but in a Zoom conference you're not bound. You can cut off and you can do your emails and do something about that. Okay, influencing people skills, leadership.
So these skills, of course, we need to know what's our stakeholder. As a project manager, one of the important skill you have, of course, you talked about communication skills. And before you communicate, we need to know our stakeholders. I get calls almost every day asking, about my PgMP, PfMP program. Some people are interested, some people are not interested. But why people join my program? Because when they start talking to me, I'm able to build rapport with them. And I tell them, look, guys, you should find a mentor who can talk to you at your same level. I may be the best PgMP, PfMP mentor, but if I am not able to contribute to you and we don't have the same frequency level, then I'm worthless for you. So first thing I do, and listen to them and understand them and where they're coming from. As you mentioned, if they're coming from a particular country, talk about that, and then you building trust. And most of the people, when they come to me, they already have trust in me. But I need to make sure the trust stays, and they listen to me and they find me as a mentor and they continue. And of course, like to see and the registration happen. So happen because the trust level built with the expectation that they have, and they keep. And I'm listening and they are listening, and we have same frequency match. So in a team environment, of course, your team, people coming from various different countries, different cultural background, and the religious background, or all these things are okay, and we have to live with this environment because there's no going back. So what you can do is to spend enough time to understand the person, understand the background of the person. Nowadays, LinkedIn and Facebook can help you understanding about the person. So spend some time to understand who this person, what the likes and dislikes are, and why it's important, because sometimes if there's no frequency, then you talk about, instead of work, let's talk about soccer, let's talk about cricket, let's talk about something else. So that will help you to break some ice, and then you find the relationship.
Yeah. So give you an example. I was contacted by a mentoring program, and they said there is somebody who is looking for a mentor, and we thought you are a good match, and let's initiate an initial talk. And that's his name. And so I looked him up on LinkedIn, I looked him up on Facebook, on Instagram, and what you have, and I found out from these entries, he's actually from Croatia. Okay. And the city of Croatia was mentioned. So, and lots of other bits and pieces, not a full picture, but maybe a splattered picture of what he is, who he is, and then in the first call, almost my first question was, you're from Croatia, from this city. I've been there 30 years ago, and well, it is still so beautiful. And you have the amphitheater. Oh yeah, yeah. You immediately had a touching point, something in common, and this builds first trust, because what he sees, you are interested in him because you looked up with information, you took the time and took an interest. And secondly, you found something that is common, So if I would never have been in Croatia, in the city before, maybe would use something else, But it was suitable, and it established a connect, as you said, a rapport, so that we have something in common. You all have to do that. And, it was just maybe 10 minutes within the first mentoring call when we were friends.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So very, very, yeah, that's where you the homework you've done, knowing he's from Croatia, from this, and then background will definitely add in the conversation. And that's very important whether you're talking to the senior managers, CEO, or going for interview, or starting a job, very, very important. I'll tell you one example here. This is again HP cloud. I'm very new to this. I've done some data center migrations. Another thing I know about the data center, but cloud was very new to me. And I was told that I'm going to work with network engineers, especially the network management engineers, the manager of that. And I was also told that this person hates project managers, program managers. Oh, okay. And I'm sending messages to him and calling. He's not interested talking and replying back. Anyway, so one day I'm going with him to data center to visit, to do a few things. I'm not talking about the work. I'm talking about who he is and his, some hobbies and some Australian games like rugby and other thing. I found that he is interested in that. And then we start talking some personal, and before I lie that, we have a very good connection and we are good friends. And after that visit, he called me, Dharam, whenever you need me, and I know it's cloud is very new to you, call me. I know, just let me know, and or come and knock my door. I'm going to support, this program is very, very important. We're going to work together to make it possible.
Yeah.
So that somebody who's away, suddenly bonding happen, and we work together on various occasions. He come with me, explain everything to these technical people. It become very good relationship.
That's good. So we have to work on your capability to make a first impression with people, and the target is to build trust. The target is not to lie to them or whatever, to present yourself as you are, but building trust with that. So I'm often asked, or you can read, I'm not a leader, I was not born as a leader. And I really, nobody told me to be a leader and how to become a leader. So I'm stepping back and I'm taking a careful position here. And then I say, no, you are a leader. Every human is a leader because you are a part of many communities, And the first thing you were leading and influencing others was your mother when you were crying for food. And you let your mother to prepare warm food for you, and she did, and it was even without you understanding what leadership or what is, or you go to school and you are the leader of the group of sitting together, the three guys, you have friends, and if you have friends, you normally are a leader of that friendship group somehow, in some respects. You go in a sports club and do something. You're a leader there. But if you win, you're a leader. And if you help others winning, then you are a leader too. So I played volleyball a lot. So it's a team sports, and there's no really leader in a volleyball team. But from time to time, everyone is a leader in that volleyball team because he makes a hit or he makes a save or whatever. And they have this give me 5 or 10, and that's leadership. And So you are a leader. So I compare leadership to swimming, okay, you can avoid swimming. You can say, I don't want to learn about swimming. So, but then, you are dumped into a sea or a lake or whatever, and you drown. So you better swim a little bit, prepare yourself for swimming. And everybody recognize that, yes, swimming is maybe not a mandatory life skill, but you should do it. You should really do it, that you can go to the beach and not drown if you fall down or something. And it's your responsibility to prepare yourself for situations in life. Nobody else will do that for you. And one situation that comes around the corner, I'm pretty much sure, and probably has already, is that the community you are a member of and you like and you're responsible for ask for your leadership, and then you should be prepared. So if you are a parent, a father, a mother, or you are a teacher, or you are a speaker for a group, or you are just somebody in a self-organizing team, and the self-organizing team, nobody knows what to do, but you have an idea. So you're the leader in that moment for that situation to prepare yourself.
So, Thomas, one thing you told, was saying earlier that, and it's a myth. Sometimes people think that leader has to be born, in a big family and who, leadership already. Or, we used to have a debate whether leaders are born or leaders are made. So, it can be both. It can be, I've seen that the people born in the, leadership or, very high profile family, they go down because they don't pick up. So look, if I give my example, if I rewind myself back to 2007, 6, 7, and I was very shy project manager. Shy means if you ask me to stand in front of my own team of 5 people, my heart is coming out, boom, 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 literally like this. And speaking in front of my own team, I was afraid of, and what they're going to think about me, and what their observation about me, and all kind of thing going in my mind. From that moment, from that time to this point, when I'm able to guide more people, build them, recognize their leadership quality, and make them project manager, program manager, portfolio manager, getting them PgMP, PfMP, I'm very proud to say that last 15 of my PgMP, they not only passed exam but got above target result. And this was not possible if I keep thinking I'm the shy, I don't know how to speak, how to do. So as a project manager, as a program manager, one thing is very important for any leader, anybody, not just leader, that you need to have a vision, a clear vision for yourself, where it may sound very ridiculous, unrealistic at the moment, but as long as you believe in that vision, nobody can stop you. So I thought I'm going to be, speaking, I'm going to speaker, and I'm going to, support something, crazy thing happening in my mind. And something you have to try, definitely you have to try. But things also happen for you so that you find right people in your journey. If you don't think, nothing will happen. But if you are on the journey, you will connect with the right people, right time, and you will progress and achieve your objective in the expected time frame. And when you look back, it looks like, hey, this is kind of a story. I never thought it's going to be like that, but this happened. And now I'm talking to people like you, Thomas. I never thought I'm going to talk to people like you and having discussion like these. But it's a journey. Everybody has to go. But most important thing is believing in your vision, believing in your inner voice that I can do. If Thomas can do, I can do. Dharam can do. Anybody can do.
Yeah, and Dharam, what you say is correct. If you have a vision, if you have a target somewhere, a North Star, or however you call it, and you want to reach it. So, and you go the first step to it, that's maybe hurting the first step, and you are not confident enough.
Yeah.
But then you need the second, the third step. How many times does a baby fall down until it can walk, and you improve yourself, you watch yourself, and you want to make it more efficient and more well. Yeah, it takes time.
Yeah.
But it also takes consistency, persistence, and it's a personal characteristic that you have that you can go there. But you're right; it starts with a vision. So there's a good book that's called Leadership 2.0. It's 10 years old by a guy called Bradberry, and another one. And they say the core competencies of leadership is first you have a vision, you are a visionary, you can tell a story about where this group wants to go to, and you can develop a strategy, and you can communicate that vision. That's the first step. The second step is that you are able to take action, just okay, let's start now, go. And with that action, not only yourself is going forward, but you can also motivate others, to that they follow you, and you are a leader if you have followers. So the second step is to take action, but the third step is also important, and all three have to come together, is that you are able to get in the results. So if you take action, you're an actionist, but you are not an achiever. You have to achieve the results, which means that you have to be a risk taker, because you never get the perfect result that was formulated in the plan and the vision up front.
Yeah.
And then you work on it with your team, and then you have, at some point of time, you have to decide enough is enough, Pareto, 80-20, or whatever you call it. But you have to say, okay, that's it, and there is a risk with it, and you have to have some judgment, that you don't do it. But success is if you have all three parts within yourself, the vision, the action, and the results.
Exactly. And when you have vision and people, and you believe in yourself, and when you get the result, people believe in you and they follow you. So as a project manager, you need to first create a vision for what we are achieving, project to program manager, right? You have to say, okay, this is what we go do. This is the current state, this is future state, okay? And show them how we could achieve that. When people see that, yeah, there's a path, there's a really achievable, then people get motivated, get excited, and then follow you. And it's not that you have to lead. You need to find the leadership among those people so that they lead and you give them just direction. You're still leader, but they need to feel that they are leading the show and you are encouraging them. So you're kind of a kingmaker for them. So the best project manager, program manager is not about me, I am the one, I'm the best. It's about the team, what quality you have, identify those quality and recognize that and appreciate those, so the person can grow in that area. And the team members should know their skills and give them responsibility as per their, what challenges they like to take, how they want to proceed. Give them opportunity, grow them, and sooner or later they will become themselves leaders, and they will perform.
Yeah. So in 2008 at the PMI symposium, the keynote speaker was Colin Powell.
Mm-hmm.
And he spoke about that he is a project manager.
Okay.
And one of the key things he promoted was, as a leader, if I'm leading a platoon or whatever, war or campaign or whatever, I'm not motivating the soldiers to do something. I'm inspiring them.
Exactly.
So leadership is about not motivating, which is short-lived maybe, but inspiring that they want it, and that's about influencing them. Again, your mother is not motivated, but she's inspired to feed you well when you cry as a baby, So the inspiration is what you have to see as a result of leadership. Sorry. So this is Colin Powell, and though I don't like his war background, what he did in life and what he did in front of the UN Security Council, but I really met him, and I was touched by his speech in 2008 at the PMI symposium.
And that's very good point. Actually, as a mentors, one of the role we have is to not just make pass the exam or something, but inspire them just know and to be a better person, to be a better program manager, portfolio manager, project manager. And they are doing their job, the certificate become part of them. So many people ask me, Dharam, how come you get 100% result? And how come you got so above target results? So many people are doing it. Because I'm just not teaching them how to pass and how to do some exam and questions. I'm making them realize that they have a capability. They have inside already have this insight and build that knowledge day by day and do your job better. Of course, utilizing those skills you're learning, then exam become walk in the park.
Yeah.
So in what they said, inspire them, motivate them, encourage them to feel that they already have it and they're going to make it.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly. So, and back to the beginning when you asked, about this technical skills, or how it's called today in PMI, way of working. So these are sometimes seen for purposes of simplicity as two sides, So the technical, rational, system thinking world, where you have the processes and the organization, and the human side, But actually, they have to integrate. And they are integrated. You have to have a holistic view of them, but you have to be able to switch from one perspective, technical perspective, to the human perspective, and do both. And the switching is important, being able to change perspectives, but it is also, from this research I've mentioned before from Christophe Bradberry, he proved that the rational side is not enough to be successful. So you have to have as a skeleton, as a backbone, let's say, the human side of leadership, and then you can add the limbs and the flesh and the organs to that. That might be the methods and the tools and whatever you use in your profession.
Exactly. So no doubt you need to have tools, you need to know about various technical skills, but don't underestimate these people skills, whether it's a leadership skill, your team building skills, your motivational space, personal, there are a lot of things you're going to do, you're going to learn in the journey, and you become better project, better program, and portfolio manager. And most important, better human being.
Yeah. And I want to conclude with that better human being, because I also have an article on LinkedIn about that, and do some workshops on that. The point is, what we didn't discuss yet about, but it's important with leadership to see that you are really acting ethically. That you the PMI Code of Ethics gives you a glimpse of it, but it's not totally. You have values in there like respect, responsibility, honesty, and fairness. How you should act, this is something, but also what you perceive from others, And if you see somebody who is fair and honest, respectful, and is responsible in what he's doing, you like this guy. You have trust in them, And now put yourself in the shoe of this guy and be yourself that, and then you are liked. And actually, it's not that I'm fishing for compliments or so, but if a customer after a milestone met, starts to hug you and tells you I love you, because there's so much relief that we did it, and he knows that I did my part with that. We all did it together, but these are the moments where you as a leader are loved by others and you feel it, and that's a good feeling. I don't want to brag about it, but in the end, we give love. If we give love, we will get more love back. And so some people have a reluctance to talk about love as that, but actually if you go to the big leaders, Steve Jobs, others, they talk about the word love. Love your job, love what you do, and then you will be successful.
Actually, very important point. Love your job, and love bring passion inside you.
Yeah.
If you hate your work and try to do your job, you have to do it. That means you have more stress, more pressure. But if you love something, you feel excited, and you wait for that, and the result is already different.
Yeah. And to be honest, love and passion, these are skills or capabilities or whatever, that are not rational at all.
Yeah.
So I always ask the question, if somebody comes up there, write a small article how to kiss somebody and what to feel with that, and not possible, So actually, the first time I invented that argument was with a customer of mine who was a judge, and I was developing for German courtyards software development, and he was very rational, like a judge, have the evidence and then put people in jail or whatever. That was his task and his thinking. And then this human touch, try to write down love. You cannot. That's why we have poems about love. That's why we have dramas, where authors try to describe a story where love is there and then you feel it, but it's not that you can technically describe it. And if I may add to, if you're still listening, out in the audience, if you get something out of it, it's fine and you learn something, but that's a passive role. You are consuming. The good thing is, if you said, okay, I want to see more about that, I want to participate, to come back to us and give us, not for us feedback, but challenge us, and ask questions and engage.
Yeah, exactly. All right, great, Thomas. As usual, you have been doing a great job in talking and explaining, exploring all these topics. So these are unscripted discussion, and we do go off topic, but I think we try to bring as much as good discussion, so that people watching, they can learn out of this something. If you got at least one point of this, my job and Thomas' job is done. So thank you very much. Thank you for watching, and appreciate your comments and feedback, and love to bring more topic for you. All right.
Thank you. Thank you, Dharam. Thank you.
Sometimes my face become gold. I think I'm in the gold now. But anyway, so it's a camera trick. I'm not using it. It's a camera problem. Anyway, so great stuff. Thank you, and talk to you again very soon. Bye now.
Bye-bye.